Can I thank everyone for coming? And in particular, can I thank Professor Travis Bradford, who's the Director of Energy and Environment Concentration at Columbia University. I'm very grateful to him for accepting our invitation to participate in leading the discussion this evening. Indeed, my great fact for the night, the one I want you to remember from my speech, is that the city of Exeter, 110,000 people in the southwest of England, the city of Exeter had more authors in the most recent Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change report than any other city in the world. That's an incredible statement. Oh, thank you, yes. Unfortunately, you'll be pleased to know I wasn't one of them. Anyway, or rather fortunately, through the quality of the research, we try and question and create new approaches to tackling some of the greatest challenges facing the world today.
The three experts tonight are doing just this. So Professor Peter Cox is Professor of Climate Systems Dynamics and leader of the Climate Change and Sustainable Futures Research at the University of Exeter.
I'm a climate scientist, and I'm very proud and pleased to be a climate scientist at a time when the climate system is changing so fast. That might sound a bit Dr. Strangelove, but extraction of CO2 from the air or reflecting more sunlight to cool down the planet is what is sometimes called geoengineering, which is a dirty word amongst climate negotiators and amongst climate scientists. I'm going to argue it shouldn't be, unless 2 degrees is a dirty word. I don't think it should be. Could we, for example, is it beyond us? This is a slightly strange bunch of so-called solar radiation management approaches to cooling the system, but is it beyond humanity to extract CO2 from the air and store it safely? I'm not sure it is.
So I would argue that public discourse has moved towards renewable energy and energy efficiency. Yes, you'll have states that don't do that. Yes, you'll have countries that don't do that. But on the whole, that public policy discourse has tipped. Now, I'm not saying that that's sorted out the climate change problem. And what we need is to speed up what changes have happened and make those changes that happen in Germany and Denmark and Spain and Portugal and New York and so forth, California. We need that spread out throughout the world.
And I have spent a lot of time thinking and turning the tanker, the way I refer to that really is bending the curve. So what we're basically doing is we need to invest in more efficient vehicles to bend the curve. We need to invest more in efficient vehicles, and we're doing it. We have increasing corporate average fuel economy standards in the United States. China's doing dramatic increases in the fuel efficiency of their light-duty fleet. Japan, the EU, they're bending the curve in terms of efficiency of their fleets. The problem is that Peter's right. That's not enough. This is the source of all the emissions in our current carbon system, or at least as far as 2010. If we want to get to the scenario where we have fully decarbonized the system and even go negative, every single thing on this chart has to go to zero.
What does it mean on a global scale for the temperature to go up by 5 degrees, right? I mean, that's a totally fair question. So let me give you a context. 20,000 years ago, where we're standing right now was under more than a mile of ice. Okay, the ice sheets came down all the way from the Canadian archipelago through to Prospect Park, where we're projecting that we may be in a business as usual scenario by the end of this century is 5 degrees warmer. So if you think about it in ice age units, it's one ice age unit in the other direction. Okay, that was a completely different planet. Everything was different. The ecozones, the ecosystems, the sea level, everything was completely different. Where we're going to end up, we're setting that same stage for something completely different.